So the Call of Duty Vanguard beta is going on right now, and so far I'm feeling kind of mixed on it. Yes, I understand it's a beta, and any bugs that come up can get stomped out before release. At least that's what we're hoping for. For now, we'll just see how this game pans out. Before we get into it, if you like the video, hit those like and subscribe buttons. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to get alerts for new uploads, hit that bell. I do a lot of gaming videos covering news, first impressions, and gameplay. So I'd really appreciate it if you hit those buttons for me. Alright, first let's get into how the game feels. From what I understand, Vanguard is using the same engine as Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone, which I'm ecstatic about since I love both of those. However, it kind of feels like there's a mix between these games and Black Ops Cold War when I first got into Vanguard. I don't think I've said this on the channel yet, but I'm not a huge fan of Cold War multiplayer. I thought the campaign was great, though the multiplayer and zombies felt off to me. Vanguard does feel really good to play sometimes, but in others it feels bland and pretty floaty. I doubt anything is going to change with this, as it seems to be a baseline for the game, but I figured I'd mention it here. The traditional team deathmatch is fun, but also not fun. Now let me elaborate on that. I had a blast in the smaller lobbies like 6v6, 8v8, but once I got into the 12v12 lobbies, things just got too chaotic too quick, and primarily just played around choke points. The weapons also feel hit and miss. I found myself gravitating towards SMGs rather than my go-to assault rifles, and we have a couple days left in the beta, so maybe my tune will change a bit once I get some more hands-on time with them. It's also funny to see these sights on World War II weapons, like these holographic sights. Sledgehammer did something similar, or actually the same thing back in COD World War II, and I just still think it's funny. One thing I also noticed is the audio is sort of strange, like the weapons don't sound as impactful as they look. It's really hard to hear footsteps sometimes, even in quieter moments, so you can get an idea of what's around the corner. I know this is like a big point of contention in the Call of Duty community, but I felt like having the ability to hear where your enemies are at is like something that really gave you an edge if you were paying attention to it. Maybe that's just a Counter-Strike player in me talking, but I digress. So going back to this whole footstep thing, I was running up a hill, for example, right? I was running up a hill and ran into 3 enemies that I had no idea were at the top and got taken out almost immediately. Now, if I had the ability to hear these guys like shifting around, because when I came up there, they were all like doing stuff, I would have been able to like maybe prep myself, maybe go ADS and pre-fire as I went up the hill, but didn't know they were there, so I just got taken out like super quick. I doubt the feel of this game will change much, if at all, when the game releases, so we'll just have to see what happens. Now, the standout of this whole beta is the new game mode, Champion Hill. Think Modern Warfare's gunfight mixed with Rogue Company's Strikeout game mode, but with multiple teams of 2 or 3 fighting at the same time. If you're watching this, you probably already know how it goes, but for those who don't, this is how it works. When you start, each team has a total number of lives. I ran duos, so we had 12 lives to start. After an initial buy round, you fight against one of the other 7 teams until time runs out, or one of the teams gets eliminated. Your lives deplete with every death, and at the end of the round, you move on to the next fight with that number of lives. So if I had 12 to start, but my team lost 4, we go into the next fight with 8 total lives. Repeat until there's 1 team left standing. While the game mode is fun, it does get pretty annoying to have to hear the rules of Champion Hill every time you get into a new game. It would be nice to have an option to disable the announcer, at least for this intro, so tenured players don't have to deal with it, while new players could still get a breakdown of the game mode. Additionally, you're able to upgrade your weapons throughout the session. The thing is, you can't really modify it. At least I haven't seen a way to do it yet. It would be nice to have the option to modify your weapon during the buy phases, because some guns have default sights that I just cannot use, like the BAR for instance. The dot shouldn't be that big, and I hate how far it zooms in. If the buy station for weapons had a second tab for sights, at the very least, we can make those decisions ourselves and add another layer of strategy and decision making before being sent into the next fight. Champion Hill is a pretty neat concept for the game, and I hope to see it flourish when it releases. We'll probably even see some variations similar to how we got different gunfight playlists in Modern Warfare. There have been some glitches in the game so far, primarily this weird color glitch with some of the textures that mostly happens on the lobby, but have seen it come up in some Champion Hill games. It's not a big deal for the lobby, but this happening in-game can absolutely affect gameplay. Hopefully this gets sorted out when the game releases. A smaller one I came across is players falling through the environment after death, which isn't a big deal, all things considered. Figured I'd point it out. The last critique I had at the moment was the TDM spawn rotation being a little busted right now. I had players spawn in front of me and myself spawn in front of enemies for the spawnee to be immediately killed. So that would be something that needed attention for sure. All in all, the game is shaping up to be pretty good, like it's going down the road to being pretty good. If you haven't already, go check out the beta while it's still live. I believe the beta got extended to September 22nd, so there's still time to get into it and check it out for yourself. The only thing that worries me is that the studios working on this game are going to be experiencing a lot of crunch to get it in ship shape. I even heard through the grapevine that this is already happening and teams are crunching about 55 hours a week, which is pretty bad. If a delay needs to happen, I say delay it just to make sure they're not overworking the devs. If anything, make that voluntary if anyone wants to get some overtime, but I hope they're not being forced to do it. Anyway, that's all I had for this one. If you liked the video, hit those like and subscribe buttons, follow my socials in the description down below, and let me know what you're thinking of Vanguard and the beta so far. Love it? Hate it? Drop a comment down below and start arguing with each other, I guess. Make sure you stay hydrated. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.